And we're recording.
Froze.
I froze? Well, we're recording now.
All right. Well, we're recording now. And
now.
It's episode 3, and we got our first guest. Alrighty. Get ready for a lot of those. Just get ready for a lot of those from Jacob.
I agree 100%.
But we got our first guest. We got Chapman.
Chapman, what's up, player?
Trevor Lawrence lookalike. And the Buffalo Wild Wings brought this whole thing together, man.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Brought this whole thing together. Didn't get as good of a discount as I wanted, but it's fine.
Yeah, I was kind of looking for like 50% off.
But 50%.
Okay, look.
Hey, I gave you a good tip.
I gotta be great. Bro, y'all went crazy. I was like, sheesh.
Yeah, you didn't think I was gonna tip you, did you?
Bro, I was like, oh, he's gonna give me like $3.
Damn it. I gave you fucking 12.
I was like, I looked at it, I was like, damn, son.
What we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be playing a game called Will They Be a Cowboy or Not? Cowboys got a lot of free agents coming up. Some big names that are obviously going to be gone. But number one, obviously, we talk about him a lot, but Dak Prescott. We'll just go around the horn here. Jacob, is he a Cowboy next year?
He is a Cowboy next year, 100%. We're going to work out a deal in the offseason. I heard on the ticket today, I think Jerry Jones was already talking about working out a deal with Dak. But the thing is that Dak also needs to understand he has 100% of the leverage here, and we talked about that as well. But I also think that Dak kind of needs to be a little understanding. The best we can do is the best we can do, and I hope that's enough to keep him in Dallas.
Chappie?
Okay. Yeah, I would say so. I can't really see him really going anywhere else. Because like the way he wants a big contract, which is the only thing that I could say would push him somewhere else. But I mean, I think he's been here for so long that it's like, are you really gonna, go anywhere else? I mean, because most of the teams that need quarterbacks, there's not a whole lot of them, but they're probably gonna draft them, because they've got some high picks. Yeah. So I think he'll stick around for sure.
I agree, especially with if they didn't bring Kellen Moore back, then I can see him wanting to leave. But Kellen Moore staying, the play caller he's grown with and thrived in his system, he's not going anywhere. Now, will they play under the tag or get a deal? I don't know. It's going to depend on the salary cap situation with COVID, but we can all agree pretty easily that Dak Prescott's going to be a Cowboy next year. Next, we got Aldon Smith. Dude was out of football for 5 years, came back, got to try it, earn it contract, and first couple games he was making plays, but kind of not existent, but not making as many plays set for the season. I would honestly be surprised if he was a Cowboy next year. I don't know.
I don't know about all that.
Oh, you didn't agree with me? That's first.
Yeah. I think that with how many linebackers we've been talking about. I mean, we're talking about Sean Lee possibly becoming a free agent this at the end of the season or in this offseason, and we're also talking about not re-signing not re-signing, but cutting Jalen Smith. We need help there. So what do? You just get rid of a guy that, hey, didn't show out in the last bit of the season. I think that most Cowboys fans would say that, hey, we didn't show out in the last game. Our coach didn't show out in the last game. Should have thrown the challenge flag, but he didn't. So, I mean, that's kind of my opinion on it. I think there's a possibility he will be a Cowboy next year.
I think so too. I think it's a little bit of a toss-up though, because I think that they might be considering letting him go just because he is getting a little bit older and probably is regressing by now. And I think that they might want to draft someone, to take his place anyways. So it just depends on what they really want to do. But I don't think anyone really knows at this point because we still got 4 months to go or so.
The farther we go down this list, I think that it all depends on what we do with Dak Prescott. Because if we give Dak Prescott the contract that he deserves and wants, then we're going to have to rely on rookies and younger guys to fill these roles. That you're talking about linebackers, Jacob. This brings us to Joe Thomas. I think that we underuse him. We don't use him as much as we should on defense. He's a great special teams player, but he's a veteran, and especially with Sean Lee leaving, or I don't say leaving, but he's going to retire, hopefully, and hopefully take a coaching role. I think Joe Thomas is in Dallas next year, or at least I hope, just for some linebacker depth.
I would say the same as well.
Ditto.
That was easy. I guess we're all Joe Thomas fans,
I
huh?
don't think.
So we got Chidobe Awuzie. I'm not his biggest fan. I just wish that our corners could play the ball more. Now, obviously, he's a great player. I feel like he's always in the position to make plays, but then he doesn't. And with us being at 10 with the ability to take Patrick Surtain, I don't feel like we're gonna re-sign. We got corner hell at free agency this year. I don't feel like we're gonna bring back Awuzie.
I would agree with that because, like you said about Surtain, I think that he's more of a, more ball skills, better playmaking ability. So I think that they'd be willing to let him go and then take Surtain at the top, just to make sure that they have that covered so they don't have to do that again. Because last year they took Trevon Diggs. Didn't really work out the way I think that they thought it would. He's still got some development for sure. It's only been a year, but I mean, I think they'd still like someone to come in and start making plays. And Byron Jones and Chidobe really weren't that. So I think that they would be okay with letting him go, and I think that he probably would rather be somewhere else at this point anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if he left. I would be more surprised if he honestly signed back on.
If I'm being honest, I have seen a lot of our secondary get burnt. A lot of our defensive secondary get burnt over this whole season, and it definitely hurts to watch. I'm talking a little bit worse than what was that guy's name we had in the secondary? 39. He was just absolute garbage.
Brandon Carr.
Yeah, Brandon Carr. That dude got burnt like toast on almost every play that I watched him play. And it's definitely hard to watch. So I'd agree with you guys as well.
Well, while we're staying in the secondary, why don't we just jump down to Jordan Lewis? He's a good slot cornerback. Once again, it's going to be cap hell. I don't know if we're going to be able to absorb bringing back Jordan Lewis, especially, I don't know, because we're going to have Anthony Brown still going to be here. So I'm thinking maybe if we draft Surtain. So we draft Surtain and we got Brown as I would put them at number 1 and 2, and then we have Diggs in the slot. I would feel comfortable with that. So I don't feel like there's a need for Jordan Lewis here, and it's going to be too expensive.
I feel like it could go this one could go either way, because if they let Awuzie go and Lewis go, I feel like that's going to just come down to it being there's too many young people, in the secondary. And I think that they want some stability there after all these years, because like Anthony Brown, I mean, he's not a really cornerback one, So your cornerback one is if they get Surtain or someone like that, or Caleb Fairley, or whoever, it's gonna be like your cornerback one is a rookie with Trevon Diggs in the slot, and who knows how he's gonna do there. So I feel like they want to keep either Lewis or Awuzie around.
Yeah.
But it also comes down to Dak's contract as well. Like you said,
that's the thing. It's hard to guess, just because we don't know what the cap's going to look like, and we don't know what these guys asking. I mean, if it's Madden, I'm bringing back all these guys on team in the contract, but I just don't know what these guys are going to be commanding and asking. What are you thinking, Jacob?
I definitely would say that I concur with all of what you guys have said. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, especially with what Dak is probably going to get if they do work out a deal this year. So at this point, it's kind of up in the air.
Yeah. So let's just drop down to our last member of the secondary. That's going to be a unrestricted free agent this year. We got Xavier Woods, who I was very excited about coming into the season, but kind of a quiet season for him this year. Didn't really see much improvement. Honestly, saw some regression maybe, or just a quiet season, especially when you're playing next to a guy like Donovan Wilson, who comes in and second half of the season is tearing it up. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'd love to hear what you guys think because I'm still torn about whether he'll be here next year.
I think that well, there's no way they're letting the whole secondary go, you know?
Can't do it.
So,
Yeah,
and you know, Xavier Woods, he's only 25, you know, so it's like he's still got some years, you know, and
Yeah.
by the time he's like, you know, maybe 2 years from now, 3 years from now, if he hasn't shown any progression, all right, let him go, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, he's still fairly young in the league, so he's got some time, and they can't cut everybody. So, you know, I would say that they'll probably keep him around, give him another year, see if, you know, he doesn't pan out, and if not, then they'll probably let him go.
Yeah, I can see that.
One thing that's definitely tough, especially like as a Cowboys fan, is to watch, like, especially like somebody who has probably regressed a little bit over the year is the fact that, you know, I feel like Jerry just keeps giving him chance after chance after chance. So maybe they do sign him to a 1-year deal or something like that. But at the same time, the problem is that, you know, after that 1 year is up and maybe he got a little bit better, but the next season he'll just regress again. The problem is that, you know, hey, he did better after we gave him that deal. But after that, he regressed again. So maybe he just needs another deal. And that's whenever they end up giving him like 4 or 5 year contract. But, you know, if I'm Jerry Jones, I don't know. I don't think I'm really gonna, I don't think I'm going to try to sign a regress player.
We'll definitely get into the options if they don't sign these guys in a second. But I think we can all agree Andy Dalton will not be a Cowboy next year, right? I think he's going to ask. No, he's not. He's going to. He said after the game he wants to go try and be a starter somewhere.
Yeah. Which who knows if that'll happen?
So
I don't see it.
We've got a pretty good quarterback class coming in. You know, I mean, there's a few spots. I mean, maybe, but I mean, he's gonna have to work for it.
So who's our number 2 at that point? And don't say Ben DiNucci.
Garrett Gilbert, who is also a free agent, but I think he did well enough in the Steelers game to earn himself a job as America's team's backup quarterback.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I like Andy Dalton, and maybe it's because we're both gingers, but who knows?
Yeah, the ginger, no souls. You kind of like have some sort of brotherhood going, but you gravitate toward each other. It's like y'all's crotches just come together. It's like a magnet.
Our crotches? Why are we talking?
Some sort of ginger scissoring thing.
He's talking about crotches now. Okay, we're like, wait, this is like crotches. We're talking about football, and now all of a sudden we're talking about crotches. This is just like,
let's bring it back to sports. Let's bring it back to sports.
Okay,
let's bring it back to sports. Tyrone Crawford, I hope he's gone. I don't want that contract anymore. I don't want him on the books.
I'd agree.
He can go back to Canada.
Canada?
He's from Canada. I know you probably agree with me, Jacob. You don't even know who Tyrone Crawford is.
He's a defensive lineman, fool.
Oh, what number is he?
98.
Oh. Chapman, how do you feel about Tyrone Crawford?
Well, I feel like honestly this draft class, it seems to be decent with D-line talent. Same with O-line, but we'll get into that later. But I mean, I feel like I could see them letting them go just because their contracts on the D-line are probably getting up there, you know. So yeah, I think this one's pretty easy for me. I feel like that one's, you know, you can go. They'll probably let him walk, I'm sure.
All right, let's jump into the Cowboy that has been around the longest on this team, LP Ladiseur, our deep snapper. I hope we bring him back, man. Hope we bring him back. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
we're talking about a deep snapper. Good Lord, those guys are not 1 in a million. Okay, all deep snappers are good. I don't want to hear it. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
This one could have been left off the notes.
Deep snapper.
I just looked up at every Cowboy. Okay.
Deep snapper.
Okay. Would you like to talk about somebody more interesting?
Deep snapper. We just brought up a deep. Who?
Would you like to talk about Noah Brown? He's got a star on his helmet, so guess what? He matters to me, buddy.
I'm just kidding. They'll sign him again. Yeah, he's
Noah Brown.
Probably
Noah Brown's gone. I think we can all agree about that. We're not bringing him back. We'll draft a rookie later rounds to do what he does. Everybody can agree on that?
We'll take it.
Okay. Yeah. Cam Irving,
Deep snapper.
he got some good experience this year. I can see us bringing him back because it doesn't hurt to have somebody with experience as a backup in the O-line.
Yeah, as a backup for sure, but I definitely think this whole line needs an overhaul. Like, and I think that that's what this draft would be good for. Like, not the tackles, but they have been injured. I mean, they've been getting older too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them take the best talent when they can at the O line for sure. Whether they play inside or outside, because this is a pretty good class to do that with.
Let's hope it's not another Connor Williams, bro.
Right, and I mean, we just need to protect Dak after this season, especially. So I could see them really getting some good, really good, high quality players. Athletic dudes play on the inside, second, third round, fourth round.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and Cam Irving, yeah, I don't know, he's only 28, so I mean, those O linemen, they can go for a little while. So I'm sure that they'll bring him back just for, like you said, some depth behind whoever they draft
for the field goal team.
Oh, my turn. Okay, so here's kind of my issue with everything like that. Okay, we do definitely need a huge overhaul, especially in our twos on the offensive line. The problem is that we have a very injury prone offensive line. It seems like every year we're like, okay, well, hey, they won't get hurt. Tyron Smith's not going to get hurt this year. Oh, there he goes. He's out again. So like the problem is not like, I don't think it's the fact that we need, like, okay, I would say we do need second string offensive linemen, but I mean, really
my
problem is.
No, I agree. I think the talent is there for sure, like no doubt about it. It's just like the injuries, and you got to be kind of hesitant because, like, as you said, Tyron Smith, like, year after year he's been getting injured, and he's only getting older. He's not getting any younger,
Right.
So it's just like, when do you kind of move on and be like, okay, we don't know if we can rely on him, and it becomes a liability.
Well, and you can see just like in the Giants game, our second string left tackle, whoever it is, I don't even know who it is. He is not good at all. I mean, he is absolute garbage. He gave up how many sacks? I think I saw two in like 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So like the problem is like,
you can see a lot of sacks if you're watching the Cowboys, man.
Yeah. As long as our O-line is healthy, we can keep Dak protected 100%. But if we don't have a good second string offensive line, then there's no way we can get the ball out. And Dak is a very good thrower. So.
So we got the last one we got here is Joe Looney.
He's staying.
He's staying. He's
staying.
He's great leadership. Great veteran to have on the O-line. So hopefully Connor Williams can learn not to suck.
Yeah. Love that guy.
So when I was making notes, obviously I focused more on defense for if we did not sign any of these guys that are on the defense, maybe wanted to go for some upgrades. I saw a report that Justin Simmons, I saw his Instagram post that basically said, "Thank you, Denver." And also saw an article that said he was, the last time he was talking to reporters, he was like, "Thank you guys for everything you've done. Like, it doesn't go unnoticed," kind of like a goodbye speech. So, and that was somebody they were rumored to trade for before the trade deadline. So maybe the Broncos were just asking too much. Maybe this is just us, another Jamal Adams or Thomas situation where we want a safety for once in our lives.
Yeah.
But I would be very aggressive with this.
I would too. I'm pretty happy to go and get him. I mean, that'd be pretty great. And then they could let, like you said, Xavier Woods or Brandon Carr go or whatever they want to do. So yeah, I think that'd be a good one to go and attack, because he's, got to be probably what, top 5, top 10 safety in the league. So
and a guy like that, our team, I hate to say it, as much as we say this is our year every time, this team's built to win now. So maybe we throw the dude a 2 or 3 year deal, maybe a 1 or 2 year deal, and see what we can get, because it's just going to take a lot of moving pieces for the Cowboys to be able to actually be in the thick of things and go win an NFC championship and win a Super Bowl. And we're going to need a two top tier, because I think Donovan Wilson is going to turn into a top tier safety. I mean, the dude's a turnover ball hawk machine. So him and Donovan Wilson would be a great pairing, I think.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
Agreed.
I definitely don't see them giving him, if they do sign him. I definitely don't see them giving him over a 3-year contract. It'll be a short-lived contract, and as long as he plays good, um, he'll get re-signed.
This being similar to a sort of Tyrann Mathieu and Houston deal, a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal, something like that. Also, somebody I'm a little curious about. This is another person we had some ties to in the off season last year, Jadeveon Clowney. I think we can get him really cheap, and I think that he could come make a serious impact if we don't want to give Aldon Smith that sort of money. I think it'd be a great piece to our defensive line.
Yeah, that would be really interesting if they could pull that off, for like a year or two or so, and then they could focus their draft pick on the offensive line, because all you really got to do, sign a couple guys on defense, get that O-line fixed up a little bit, and you've got a Super Bowl contender. I mean, really, it's that simple, because offensive weapons are beast mode, and draft a couple corners in the first round or something, and I mean, you got it together. So I could see them doing something that could really pull off the contracts and not spend up too much on the free agents this year.
Yeah, I agree.
So another guy that's interesting to me. You agree with my text, or you agree with what we said, or both?
Oh, don't worry about that text. I just sent
I
you
don't know.
one back. Don't worry about
Come on,
that.
man, y'all leaving me out?
No. We'll
all
add
right,
you to
so
a group. We'll get you in a group.
I'm playing.
So another dude that I'm intrigued by, and you might call me stupid for this, if we do get Surtain and maybe we let Lewis and Awuzie walk, maybe Richard Sherman on a little prove it deal. Maybe a one, like all these guys, they're not going to be a Cowboy for the rest of their life. Maybe a 1 or 2 year deal. With him, it'd probably be a 1-year deal for a guy like Richard Sherman, because he'd probably want to go to the team and get paid. But I just, it's hard to pass up on a dude who's been in big games. He's won a Super Bowl. It's hard to pass up on a dude like that if you can get him cheap enough to teach Trayvon Diggs and teach Surtain, or the guy from Virginia, I think. What's his name?
Caleb Fairley.
Teach them the ropes. Teach them what it means to win and play meaningful football. So I'm intrigued by that.
I don't. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's all you, buddy.
No, you got it.
No, it's all
This
you.
is awkward.
This is okay. All right, I'll go. Okay. I kind of agree with what you said, Jake, because like the thing is like, I don't really think that Richard Sherman is going to take any deal that isn't a long-term deal. And that's kind of where I'm sitting with that. Richard Sherman knows he's a good player, and he knows that he can get paid. And I don't think that if Dallas were like, hey, here's a 1-year contract, come play for us for a little bit, I don't think
a ring.
he's going to believe. Well, but the thing is like, we always say it's our year, we're going to get the ring. Look where we are. We're talking about
being a Cowboys fan.
I know,
dude.
and hey, and look, I've lived it for so many years.
Boys, bitch.
Right, and I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people saying that if we sign Richard Sherman, that hey, this year's our year, and I'm not saying that it comes down to one player, but what I'm saying is we'll have a good chance to make the playoffs, but I don't know how deep we'll go. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know. Getting back on track here, I don't know if Richard Sherman signs a 1-year deal with Dallas just because. He's a good player. He knows it. He wants a long-term deal. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, if they could get him to do that, which is unlikely, it'd be probably good for team morale and, the locker room, spirits and, getting those rookie guys and, the new kids brought up, not kids, but newer players, have them learn some stuff, because he's arguably one of the best corners in the league still. So but yeah, I also kind of agree with Mr. Roland here. It's like, how likely is it that he is going to want to sign a 1-year deal with anyone. When he could go and get a big contract for the next couple years.
You guys can't let me dream. You can't let me dream or have
No,
fun.
you can dream.
Well, here's
we got to be objective, man.
here's your more reasonable option in free agent at corner instead of doing that I've liked since he was on the Falcons, Brian Poole. Play with the Jets, probably tired of losing. Might want to come to a team where he'll just lose 8 games instead of.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
mercy,
stay at 8-8. We'll stay at 8-8.
Well, and I mean, yeah. You won't lose 14 games. You'll lose 8 games, man.
That's
we'll
right.
Cut that
Just
in half.
8.
But hey, he does everything. He can play outside. He can play slot. He can cover tight ends. I like the way he plays, and I think we would get him at a decent rate as opposed to the Richard Sherman debacle that just happened.
Chapman, you're up, buddy.
I could be a fucking GM. Hope
I
y'all
mean,
know that.
I can't really say much. I would say I pretty much agree. I mean, I think he could be a really good weapon, but it just depends on who they let loose. Who they decide to let walk and who they want to re-sign. So I think it just depends. But definitely, if they want to let both Awuzie and Lewis go, then I think he could be a good weapon. You could play everywhere, depending if they assign anyone in the safety room or whatever. So yeah, I think that's interesting, but it just depends on who they want to bring back, who they let walk.
I concur.
Jacob's like, who the fuck is Brian Poole?
I couldn't care enough. So
this is the name. He's on the Jets now.
Oh well, I definitely wouldn't watch the Jets. So so there's that.
Dude, they won 2 of their last 3. Give them a break.
Hey, nice.
So this is a name that I saw that intrigued me just a tad because once again he's a dude that he was part of that Legion of Boom and he knows how to win meaningful games. KJ Wright at linebacker, little bit of an upgrade I think from a veteran Sean Lee, but the Cowboys are homers. They like to keep why would I bring KJ Wright in if I can just bring Sean Lee in again? I would like to have KJ Wright because I feel like he could maybe help Jalen Smith pull his head out of his ass, actually look and read the O-line a little better and quit swiping so damn much. But I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's just my dreams again.
You tell Jalen Smith he's not on Tinder. This ain't no swipe fest around here.
Back to sports.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I could see them going somewhere for sure in the free agency for some linebackers just because, Sean Lee, how long has he been in the league, man? He's up there. High 30s, got to be mid 30s at least. But, yeah, I could see something like that. Definitely need a plug because you can't draft every position, So, yeah, I could see KJ Wright, getting assigned for a year or 2 or, whatever. But, yeah, I could see it. That's most probably realistic one I think that they could bring in.
Yeah. Jacob, quit fucking texting me, bro.
I just letting you know that they only let us record for 40 minutes. I just got a message when there's more than 2 people. So,
all right, then I guess we got to wrap it up.
But you know what we can do is we can start a part 2.
Yeah, we can just keep rolling if y'all want to. I don't care.
Yeah.
But we can end this right here.
Yeah,
and,
we can end this. We can end this, and then there'll be a part 2.
We want to, before we go, we want to thank the Sante Center for Healing.
If you or anyone you know.
I got to add on this shit. Okay.
No, it's a joke. It's a total joke.
It's a joke.
Hey, Stone, if you're watching. Stone, if you're watching.
Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic, baby.
Vanilla Vic.
Hey, no more talking about crotches on the podcast, man.
Yeah, man. Come on.
There was crotch talk?
There was crotch talk.
That was a segment.
No, no, that's not a segment. It's not on the segment sheet.
Fuck. Y'all said y'all didn't want to talk about sports all the time.
Whoa, the F-bomb.
Oh,
friends and family watch this, Jake. PG, bruh. Mm-hmm. PG. Chapman.
Nobody watches this shit, bruh.
Whoa. Chapman, what you got? Last words before we start filming part 2.
Give some words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom,
somebody,
Chapman.
I got something.
All right, hit us.
SoundCloud, Chapman Diller. Go check
it out. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, bro. We can start out the next video with that. Yeah, we'll start out the next video with that.
Yeah.
Bet.
Okay. All right.
All right.
And we
either
are
this-
done for.